How's it going, guys? Welcome to the Autism Awareness channel, and today I have an informational video for you guys. This will be about why it is so hard for people with autism to make eye contact. And this is a very big deal because a lot of people don't recognize the most common symptom, which is the lack of eye contact. And it really gives us a misunderstanding and makes us people think we're just like socially awkward, but like there really is a lot deeper meaning to why we can't. We struggle with eye contact. Like right now, I'm struggling to look at the camera. So we're gonna talk all about that today in an article that I found that I think will be really interesting for you guys and very informational. So let's get into it. So a lot of these informational videos I'm going to be doing are coming from a website called autismspeaks.org, and this is the exact same one. And it's very valuable information. It's one of the most in-depth websites about what this whole thing is. And the title of this is Why Is It So Hard for People with Autism to Make Eye Contact? This is on July 17th, 2015, so it's about 5 years old. Regardless, this still has a lot of very relevant information today. So it starts out by saying, on the one... Stop. So it starts out by saying, on the one hand, we know that eye contact helps people communicate their interest and attention to a conversation partner. It's also important for communicating interest and having a social interaction with someone. Oftentimes we need to maintain eye contact in order to pick up and respond to important social cues from other people. And of course, a failure to make eye contact can be misconstrued by others as disinterest or inattention. So I think that's a big part of why this is misunderstood, because the social norm is to like make sure that like if you have eye contact, that means you're paying attention. So obviously not having it, it kind of comes across as rude or offensive sometimes, but that's really not the case, and the article goes into that. So the next part talks about when eye contact is stressful for people with autism, because sometimes it's not. Like when you're talking to a person that you really like or have a good relationship with, it becomes a lot easier. On the other hand, it says, the act of making eye contact is extremely stressful for some people affected by autism. There are many books and articles written by adults with autism who experience the terrible stress they feel when well-meaning parents and teachers tried to force them to make eye contact during conversations. I've had a lot of experiences with those. In many cases, they describe being further distracted and unable to focus on the conversation because of this instance. Or insistence, I'm sorry. And yeah, that's true. Like I've become too focused on like doing something instead of actually listening. We've also learned from these wonderful individuals that when others give them leeway to communicate in a more comfortable manner without eye contact, they can engage in conversations and participate in school, work, and social interactions just fine. And that's exactly how it is for me as well. So the question is, should we force eye contact? And that's a very complicated question. So should we insist on eye contact with those who find it uncomfortable? As with many complex questions, the best answer is probably it depends. First and foremost, we encourage you to begin by exploring what the issue means for your son. But by the way, this is a male. This is like a mainly male audience it's referring to here. How does making eye contact affect your son? Does it help him pay attention to the conversation or make it more difficult? So it's really, and again, autism is such that wide spectrum. Like, I could have a completely different experience than another person when it comes to eye contact. So in order to find out that answer, you really got to know someone first. So moving down the article a little bit, these are some signs that you should encourage eye contact. So the article says, at the same time, we've seen that making eye contact clearly improves attentiveness for many children who have autism. If you notice that your son doesn't pay attention unless he's making eye contact, then encouraging this skill may be important for his success and independence in life. Personally, I've never experienced this, but I can see the reason why a lot of people do, because a lot of people with autism also have ADHD, so they really have to stay focused on something, which is quite difficult for them. But when they do, they have a better time sinking in the information. So, a way to encourage eye contact is to build on someone's interest. So, especially if you have like a son or daughter, or a very good friend, special interest can be another way to encourage eye contact. Does your son love to talk about a particular show or a special collection he has? Is he more likely to look up at you when you engage him on these subjects? This is a wonderful way to encourage him. So the very next paragraph, it says, of course, it may be that your son doesn't make enough eye contact for you to be able to reinforce it on a regular basis. In that case, you might want to try some strategies to catch his eye. This can be as obvious as using a visual support or touching the corner of your eye with a motion that starts within his range of sight and then reinforcing. Research and our clinical experience suggests that children with autism respond better to visual cues than spoken directions. Visual supports can be particularly useful in reinforcing expectations. In this case, you might use a picture of eye or the word look written on a cue card. Eventually, you'll want to do away with these prompts. They are mainly temporary teaching tools. So this was extremely relevant to me, especially when I was in elementary school. A lot of my teachers would use those kind of tactile clues, if you will. They would kind of like pat my arm or like turn me the other way, so that I would stay focused on it, or on a certain task or like a project. So yeah, that I definitely get that. And then the final option that we have here is behavioral therapy and social skills group, which I actually took early on. So it's interesting what they will say here. If your son is already seeing a behavioral therapist, eye contact and attentiveness are wonderful skills for them to work on together. A behavior analyst or educator can work with you and your son on personalized recommendations. This will likely include a range of behavioral strategies that can help increase eye contact within your son's natural environments of home, school, and play. The therapist may begin by completing a behavior assessment of your son. Ideally, the therapist will observe how your son interacts with others in a variety of real-life settings. For instance, the therapist will want to observe your son in several settings with varying demands and collect information on how he directs eye contact and when he might avoid gaze. If this is not possible, he or she may ask you to describe these situations. Based on these observations, the therapist will work with you to develop a plan to increase eye contact in specific situations. Along these lines, your school district may have a social skills coaching group, which I think they're required by law to. I'm not quite sure about that, though. Or a school counselor may know of one in your community. These strategies should serve as a springboard for additional behavior supports that enlist the help of professionals. As we described above, we want to encourage you to take advantage of autism specialists and resources in your area. We hope these strategies and suggestions prove helpful. Please let us know how we are doing by emailing us at their email. So, yeah, that is a very beneficial article, and I hope it was for you guys too. Alrighty guys, so that's going to do it for the video. I hope you guys enjoyed and have a wonderful day. Be sure to like, subscribe, and share this video if you find this information important. And yeah, if you have any questions, please feel free to drop it in the comments or email me. I'm always free, guys. I'm always free to talk. Feel free to like chill out and all that. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video, guys. Peace.